FNAF fan games. We all know them. We all love them. We all enjoy the storylines, plot details, and love poured into them. Hours and hours of content and over thousands upon thousands of games. Enough content really to last you to the heat death of the universe. But what makes a good fan game? What makes a fan game memorable? A game so fun to play that you just need to write a video essay discussing why it lasted the test of time and lingers in your brain like a f***ing sleeper agent. Well boy howdy gee, let me tell you something about a funky fun fan game series I played growing up. One Night at Freddy's. Or ONAF for short. But hey, who's keeping up with anagrams, am I right? What makes One Night at Freddy's so memorable to me? Why has this game stood the test of time for me beyond any of the others I played before? It isn't as big as Pop Goes or Candies. It's not even as known as Wario's or Sonic's. But why does this one series, this trilogy of games, linger in the back of my mind? Well, honestly, it's just a fun game. I don't know what to tell you. Ah, yes! The ONAF Trilogy. A trilogy of games developed and produced by PainPaii on GameJolt, creator of some actually insanely good games like Twisted Reality and Anti-Clockwise, which, yes, will be getting their own separate videos in due time, I promise. Like, have you seen the models used in these games? This is nuts! But yes, the creator of these games made a series 8 years prior that I played on an old Dell laptop called One Night at Freddy's, a simplistic game where you take the role of a night guard surviving, well, One Night at Freddy's. I don't know what else you want me to say, it's just that. Yeah, so these games don't really shake up the formula that much as others do, but hot damn does it do One Night perfectly well. Especially for how long ago it was. Jesus Christ, I was 13 when these games came out, what the f***? So, what are the games actually about? What sort of gameplay or designs do these games entail? Well, how about we just hop into it and start off with the first one in the series.
Furthermore, in order to defeat the enemy, we must understand them. We must think like them. Therefore, we must become them.
Okay, so truth be told, I didn't beat it. It's buggy and broken beyond belief. However, I cannot understate the importance that this game had on the developer, as it was their first fully finished project. The project itself isn't really something to write home about, as it's just FNAF 1 with extra steps. But hey, at least there isn't a mandatory Foxy boss fight or a paper plate antagonist that fundamentally ruins what made FNAF 1 as good as it was. Am I right, lads, or am I right, lads?
You are right, lad.
Cheers, lads. Still, though, I can't express how funny it is to play the game and see the bugs and glitches persist even to this day. Like double bonnies, or broken doors, or broken alarms, and my favorite glitch in the game I encountered, death. Still though, I feel like I should explain the gameplay loop and the gimmicks in the game. In the game, you take the role of a night guard surviving the only night at Freddy's, watching over the 4 animatronics as per usual. The animatronics mostly act the same throughout the night except for 2 key animatronics, Freddy and Foxy. While Chica and Bonnie still make their way to the doors where you'll need to close them in order to survive. Barely. Foxy works similarly to Funtime Foxy, where you need to keep an eye on him for when he runs out of Pirate's Cove. You will need to close the doors when he's coming to ensure he doesn't kill you, as per usual. If it were! Yeah, so when I played the game, most of the time Foxy would just kinda appear. Like, I would just kind of have to keep an eye on the camera and shut both doors, but even when I shut both doors, he still managed to get in. It isn't a huge concern considering the gameplay loop, it's just kind of booty cheeks when it doesn't work. As for Freddy's gameplay loop, it's super simple and only barely broken. Freddy will appear outside the window, running and doing the silly little dance, or, you know, peak cinema for the game if you prefer. Freddy will stand at your window and wave his arms until you press the alarm, where he skedaddles on out of there. That's basically the game. And what do you get for winning? PNG.
What? What?
Yeah, so nothing super crazy to write home about for this game. It's a simple gameplay loop made 8 years ago by somebody who just started out. Nothing insane to say the least, it's just a fun little silly game made by a young up-and-coming game maker. With that said though, the next game really does improve on the gameplay loop and the formula PainPaii made, especially considering this one more closely resembles more so mini-games you would play in like FNAF 4 or even Help Wanted. Let's go down another layer and find out just how much the second game improved on the first one with... So now we come to the sequel of the game. What does this game do that the first game didn't? Well, I'm glad you asked, my fucking little doodle friend in the corner of the room. Essentially take what ONAF 1 did, right? Yeah? You took what made it like that? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, now throw all that away. Mini-games galore! Imagine what Plushtrap was in FNAF 4, but basically make it the entire game's format and concept of the gameplay. Once more in this game, you take the role of a night guard trying to survive one night at Freddy's. 2. Look, there's only so much you could say about this game series. It's silly but fun. So what does this gameplay entail for this game? Well, as the night guard, it's your job to watch over the withered animatronics and ensure the puppet doesn't get out of the music box. Making sure that if an animatronic gets a wee bit too close to you, basically breathing down your neck, you must put on the Freddy head by pressing space. Which actually brings me to another good point. This game has keyboard controls, which for the time was actually pretty sick considering Scott himself didn't really have that yet. It was pretty cool. After you go through the night, the game basically ends. Is that another section of the game? Yes, so surprisingly in the game itself, you can actually experience yet another few mini-games. There's these ones being with the toy animatronics. You know, the titular characters of the game. It's a shame these guys get rarely used aside from FNAF AR, considering these are genuinely some banger designs. Especially Toy Bonnie. Lord knows I am extremely excited to see these guys in live action. Aside from that, the whole thing with their gameplay loop is pretty simple. Just shine a flashlight and wait for them to get into a spot. Then you win. Otherwise, it'll be death galore, or in my case, nothing. Yeah, there's not a lot that can be said relating to this game. It's just FNAF-based minigames compiled into a singular package. A simple game with simple mechanics and even simpler loops. It's basically just a plush trap minigame with added mechanics. Yeah, so I know we seem to be breezing past these games, but there's really not a lot that can be said about them. They really are just what the game says. It's all simple gameplay and even simpler games. However, the last game PainPaii made in the series is a little bit more special to me, as this was something fun to play when I was a kid, even if again, it faces a lot of the problems that the first game had. So we start the game with a simple cutscene. More reminiscent of Sister Location with a slow pan up to the man of the hour, Springtrap, causing us to head straight to the main menu. And holy wow, this is an improvement. I haven't really brought up the menus yet, but they started off a bit simplistic with Freddy just kind of there, and Toy Freddy tweaking the fuck out. So coming to this from the first two menus was genuinely a shock to me. After we get off this menu, we are greeted with the office. A much more simplistic take on the FNAF 3 office, where we have to fend off against Springtrap and the vents, while at the same time ensuring the systems work every now and again, since you would usually have the phantoms jump scaring you every few seconds. You gotta ensure the main systems work. You know, the vents, the cameras, the controlled shock. Yeah, so we have a new feature in the game, controlled shock. What does this controlled shock do, you may ask? Well, it shocks that beautifully crisp springlock endo in front of you silly goober. What did you think it was for? Some sort of optional way to beat Springtrap? Nah, bro, trust, this is here for just the endo, which, truth be told, doesn't really do much. I didn't even know that it was for that until I accidentally shocked the endo back on the floor, which, if you don't end up shocking it, it will just kind of permanently jump scare you. It's confusing, but I managed to beat it after a bit. It was pretty simplistic and fun. Afterwards, you were met with some credits, and that's basically the games. Yep. Those are the games. Okay, look, truth be told, these games aren't much in the grand scheme of the FNAF fan game community. Some of the games I mentioned here barely function or have game-breaking bugs, sometimes even causing the games to crash just by staring at the characters. But here's why I think these are something to be treasured. One simple reason that should be known for everybody watching: the games are free. And not only that, but they give you a small glimpse as to what FNAF is. I would always say this: ONAF may not be much. ONAF may not be the biggest, newest thing that revolutionizes FNAF fan games. It doesn't have new characters or new gameplay ideas or even a story for that matter. But what they do have is, for the time they came out, they were a glimpse into what FNAF was. And the biggest point of this game is that I believe that Nose is just a glimpse of FNAF through the eyes of a fan. Because at the very top of every game PainPaii has released in the trilogy, one thing has always stayed. At the very top left of the screen is a link and a message. Click here to buy FNAF, taking you to the Steam page and allowing you to see what the actual game is, and what inspired this at the time young game dev to make this trilogy. The trilogy isn't much. It's not something I expect a ton of people to talk about, but I think this trilogy is an underrated trilogy, one that I hope someday gets a revamped version of the game, and a more updated look into FNAF with the experience the game dev has acquired throughout the years. I mean, again, just look at Twisted Realities. And then look at these. Without these games, we could have never gotten to this point. And for that, I thank the creator for them. Both for making these games that most don't really bring up nowadays, and for continuing to make such cool concepts in game design, as show with your newer games. PainPaii, if you somehow watch this video, just know that you're talented, and that I hope you continue to make some banger games. Also, just to everybody else, thanks for watching me ramble about these random games I played as a kid. It was unironically kind of fun. It really means a lot. So, yeah. Cheers, guys. Have a good time. Woo! Okay, so that was the One Night at Freddy's trilogy. A simplistic take on the FNAF formula that allows fans old and new to play through the first 3 games from the view of a fan at the time of early FNAF. It's sort of like a time capsule for early FNAF, and I really love that, especially considering this was at the time what I had to play. I really hope you enjoyed the video. These types of videos are something I kind of want to try and do more and more as I continue the channel. So I really like video discussions and figured, why not make them, you know? Why not check out some of my other random videos? Like the flip side or my salvage video. Or, while you're at it, why not support the people who helped me make the video? Like my buddy Axel, who graciously helped me make the moving little guys that you see in this video, like the one you're looking at right now. Or even my buddy Kat and the other homies who were with me when I was playing the games at the time. Let's just say they were not as nice as I am about the game right now. I can say that with confidence that they straight up called it booty cheek, but it was taken as more of a lighthearted and non-mean way that they are. It's just, they're cool, and I figured you might like what they make too. But seriously, thank you so much for watching. I hope to continue making more stuff, and if you really liked it, why not just, you know, enjoy it? I'm not gonna ask you to subscribe, comment, turn on likes, turn on notifications, or whatnot. What am I? A cinema channel?